Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back. Here to do a quick review recap for Power. This is, of course, season 6, the final season, episode 13. It's all your fault. Um, it was a good episode, I guess. I don't know. We learned a couple of things. But before I get into this review too heavy and deep, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, I would love to have you as a member of the tribe. Hit that subscription bell, the notification bell, so you know when I drop a video. Also, while you're here, you might as well hit that thumbs up button. Everybody knows that's like saying, hey, Miss Honey. And of course, comment down below. What do you guys think of this episode? This episode was all about Tommy and the Italians. And it, like the other episodes, just seemed to happen all really so fast. But I guess in hindsight, what we're looking at really is just the moments and the scenes that all lead up to James St. Patrick's death, and then that very short little window after his death. And we just pick up where Tommy with Tommy, and this is after Benny has come over. You guys know Benny was Proctor's cousin and Lisa Marie's uncle. After his death, is now living with Benny and the family. So we pick up where Benny has gone to see Tommy and meet him in a very small, narrow hallway in front of his apartment with a knife instead of a gun, and ends up getting the knife himself and falling dead in front of Tommy. See where Tommy drags Benny's heavy, bloody body inside his loft. Thinks to himself, what am I gonna do? He dresses in his ambulance costume. He's calling Grimace once again. We all know that Grimace is dead. It wasn't really addressed until last episode, or the Dre episode, I think. So he's calling Grimace. He can't get Grimace. He puts Benny's body on a stretcher and takes it and puts it in the ambulance and has the whole ambulance crushed into a cube and then completely destroyed. And has his mom come and pick him up from the salvage yard, and she's fussing. He just wants to go home. He's gotten into some things, and he's also letting her know that he's gonna have to kill James because James is trying to kill him. Also, he lets her know that he feels like James' ghost killed Keisha. You know, Kate's a junkie, and she's been in crime family long enough to know not to get too emotional about things. She just schmoozes over the fact that Keisha is dead, and the fact that it was supposed to be Jamie that did it. So then she decides she's gonna take him home. We see where Elisa Marie, we see her for the first time since the killing of her father. And she seems a little older now. She's with her aunt, and they have been waiting on Benny for a while. Benny's out. Elisa Marie knows the game. She knows you call every hour on the hour as proof of life, or signs of life. If you don't hear from someone every hour on the hour in that game, it means that they're probably, you know, sleeping with the fishes, right? So Elisa Marie is not pretending to be this little mealy mouth girl anymore. She's definitely speaking up. She lets her aunt know she knows the game. You don't have to keep telling me that Uncle Benny's fine, that Uncle Benny will be back shortly, because I know the deal. And at the same time, we see some cops, some cars pull up, and I think it's the cops, you know, about Benny, but it's Vince and his crew. And they're basically there just to clear their name. They know Benny's gone missing. They know that the family is looking for Benny. They want to come and say, you know, just say, hey, I'm not involved. We're gonna leave 2 men here just to protect the house, to show a sign of support, because Uncle Carlo, who is over all of Benny's clan, is gonna be notified, and Auntie got to go over there and talk to him. Elisa Marie overhears all this conversation between Vince and the auntie, and she knows there's hostility between the two families. She goes to her room and she wants to listen to the audio. Now, she has come to the conclusion that whatever that was her dad gave her in the necklace was important. She has gotten the audio and she's listening to it regularly. She doesn't know the voices on it, but she's listening to it. Her aunt walks up to her listening to it, and she wants to listen to it herself. And do you know who this is? Elisa Marie doesn't know, but I think I know who can tell us, and they go see Tariq. Tariq listens to it. He knows who it is. He knows everything that it's about. But he lies. He lies and says he doesn't know who it is. He doesn't know what's going on. Well, Auntie been in the game for a minute. She's already had a talk with Elisa Marie and let her know, even though you got to play dumb, you got to play weak, we all know that you're going to be stronger than all the boys. So she challenges Tariq. She challenges his story. She shakes him down. She knows exactly what is up with him. She knows he's lying. She knows he knows a lot more than what's going on. She knows that he played a part in Elisa Marie's dad's death. And she just calls him out on the BS. He gets offended. See, now what he wants is a copy of the audio. So he said, maybe my mom can listen to it. Maybe she knows who it is. The auntie is like, you ain't getting nothing. You got nothing to give. We got nothing to give. Beat it. And when she gets Elisa Marie back, that's when she schools her about being smarter and stronger than the boys. And playing dumb, but not being dumb. Okay? Playing weak, but not being weak. So, of course, Tariq goes immediately to Tommy and lets him know what's up about the audio. Who has the audio? He has followed Elisa Marie and her aunt back to their house. He know where they live. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You took Elisa Marie to that house the night that her daddy was killed. Everything Tariq is doing is a lie. You can't trust nothing he say. If his mouth is moving, he lying. And he can't help it. Everybody he talks to, he finds a way to play and parlay. Tommy's no different. So, of course, Tommy's upset. Tommy feels like, well, Ghost told me that he got rid of that recording. So he was lying. So he must be trying to set me up, and he sent Benny over there. And so he's fired up about getting rid of James now. And Tariq is cool with that. He's all cool with that. Tommy goes by to see Ghost at Truth, and James is giving a speech, and Tommy can see that the security has been warned about his presence, and they on their way to throw him out. So before they throw him out, he leaves. When he goes out, he sees Blanca. She walks up. She there at Truth, but she happened to have the personal effects of Keisha, who was killed. She releasing the personal effects. Now, you all know that they usually call you and tell you to come down there and get it. And usually when they tell you to come down there and get it, it is many, many months, many, many moons later. It is not until they are absolutely positively sure that they don't need anything in those personal effects before they give them back to you. Typically, it's after a case is closed. So I don't know how Keisha's case is completely closed. Like it's whatever. We're not picking at these scales. So he runs into Blanca. She gives him Keisha's effects, and she also questions him and gives him an offer to join with Sex. She's gonna give him complete immunity if he just turns over on Ghost. And they've already got some people that have put him with the Poncho killing, and you know Tommy's old hand at this. He doesn't budge. He's not a person that snitches. So he sends her on his way. When he gets in the car, he sees that this long lost earring everybody was talking about, that Tasha wore that earring, and she left that earring there when she killed Keisha. And so now this earring surfaces. He sees the earring. He plays it back in his head. It's the same earring that Holly stole, that Tasha got back, and now we find this same earring on Keisha's body. Of course, he goes immediately over to see Tasha, and he's gonna have a conversation with her about this earring. And she, of course, tries to deny it, but she knows he's got this steely, crazy, psychotic face that he has before he destroys the entire city. And she finally tells her that Keisha was going to the feds. Keisha was going to the feds, and she was going to tell on us, and I had no choice, and I was trying to protect you, and he didn't believe her. And she pleaded and pleaded and just did her very, very, very best. Like, this was going to be her last acting gig if she did not get this right. Like, if you don't schmooze this over with Tommy, he's about to put a bullet in your head. So she pulls out all the stops. She cries and I'm sorry and take care of the kids and all of this stuff. And she turns her back, and he decides not to shoot her. Like, I don't know what came over him. He just kind of looks at the gun and looks and is like, ugh. And he runs out. And she's somehow, saved or exonerated or something. I don't know. It was a weird. Meanwhile, Lisa Marie has made another copy of this audio so that Auntie can take it over to Unc and Uncle Carlo. Meanwhile, she gets the audio. She leaves. She leaves Lisa Marie there in the house alone with these two strange men who are standing outside the door. They're supposed to be protecting her. I'm like, he left two men at the front door. It's a huge home. Whatever. See where Tommy goes to meet Ghost at, like, this warehouse setting. We saw this scene a couple of 2-3 episodes ago where they meet up, and this is the same episode where Ghost was just pretty much pissing everybody off and positioning himself to take the old JR 1-2 bullet. And so he's belittling and berating Tommy, and Tommy lets him know he didn't kill Keisha, that he knows that James didn't kill Keisha. And then, of course, James just goes on from there about how he's smarter and swifter and stronger and never needed Tommy, and he's, the king of the world, blah, yada, yada, yada. And they get shot at. And Tommy goes back to accusing James of trying to get him killed. James is like, no. Now, when we originally saw this scene, it seemed like it played out differently. Now that you're seeing it play back for a second time from a different perspective, it seems like an all-new conversation, kind of, which I find weird. So I wonder if they're just reacting it. I wonder if they're just showing you from a different camera. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Y'all tell me what you think. Anyway, Tommy goes in. He kills one of the guys. It looks like one of Tate's guys. He jumps back into his mom's car. He peels off. The car gets shot at. He decides he's going to leave this whole situation and go back over to the whole Lisa Marie situation. He's got to get that audio. He goes up. Makes quick work of Vince's boys. Vince's and his boys can't fight. They can't shoot. They can't make a deal. They can't follow through on an assassination, a kidnapping, a murdering, a shakedown. Like, they're just overall incompetent. So he makes quick work with the two guys, goes in, finds Lisa Marie, and wants the laptop. She points to the laptop. At this point, she says nothing. He takes her out of there, puts her in the car. He's basically kidnapping her. Now, he's questioning Lisa Marie. She doesn't let on about the necklace. She doesn't let on about that. And she says there's copies there. Like I said, she's a smart girl, so he doesn't want to get rid of her. He needs to get these other copies as well. And so, he makes the phone call, and he lets the auntie and Uncle Carlo know that he's got a Lisa Marie, and unless they get the rest of this audio, that they'll never see her again. It's this moment. Uncle Carlo, who has a whole mob at his fingertips, sends Vince and his boys to go and get Tommy. Okay. how important is Elisa Marie? Obviously not very important, and the auntie said as much, all but said as much. We see where Tommy is back at his loft. He takes Elisa Marie to the loft, has his mom come over to the loft to watch Elisa Marie. And this kind of half-hearted comical moment where Kate and Tommy kind of seem like bumbling idiots, and Elisa Marie is easily filled in on who James is, who Ghost is, and I'm starting to think it might have been Elisa Marie that killed Ghost. Because later on, we're going to find out that it was a female that was there when Ghost died. Okay, but we'll talk about it. So, basically, she bests the both of them. She learns all that she can about Uncle Benny and Tommy and the mom and Ghost and Jamie and the relationship that they have, and he's all upset at the same time. Paz comes to the door. We saw this in the Paz episode. Shoves mom and Elisa Lee to the back. She has this exchange with Paz, able to get her out of the house. At the same time, Elisa Marie hears all of this exchange. So she definitely knows who Ghost is. She knows he's America's most hated. She knows maybe some of the moves that he made got her dad killed. Not that he killed her dad, but that he got her dad killed. So Tommy loads Elisa Marie up, and he's taking her for a ride with him. And they talk about, having similar relationships with their moms both being junkies and making promises and just not being overall great parents. And she talks about how she overheard Benny and her dad talking, and how her dad confessed to letting her mom die. He did it for her. He always did everything for her. And, Tommy is just like, I hate to bust your bubble, but your daddy wasn't ish. Like, he was the lawyer, yeah, but in order for him to protect some of the people that he was protecting, he had to get his hands dirty. And she was like, I know my dad is not innocent. I know my dad let my mama die. He set her up to overdose and then let her die. So all the way along, she's letting us know she's not this, this dullard of a child. Like, she's not this naive unicorns and rainbows type individual. She has had to step up and be adult, carry herself in a certain way and move in a certain way. And so they have this moment where they kind of connect a little bit on the fact that they both had crappy moms and they both had a crappy life. And she says, now I have no one. And at the same time, he gets this call from Two-Bit, and this is the conversation. Initially, he had the conversation where he let Two-Bit know he was on his own. Now he gets this conversation from Two-Bit where Two-Bit lets him know not only did Spanky turn, Spanky is the one that turned. It wasn't Dre that set them up, and it wasn't James that set them up. He also lets him know he took care of Dre, and of course now Tommy knows that Grimace is dead. Initially, he was thinking that Grimace was the snitch after Blanca let him know that she had somebody that put the Poncho murder on him. And so, now he's starting to realize all these things that he thought that James did, he didn't do. And he wants to get rid of Dre, but at the same time, he wants to protect James because now he knows the dealio. So he takes Elisa Marie back to the aunt's house and basically just drops her off. Now, he's killed 2 people to get her. He just takes her and drops her back off at home, sends her on the way, and then lets her know, listen, you're not alone. You're not alone in this world. Goes on, pulls off. Benny's people, one getting behind him, one getting in front of him. Single-handedly alone, even though they have automatic weapons, and it's like 4 in each car for them. He bests them and wounds Vince, and Vince is the last one that he kills. Instead of shooting him, he did shoot him eventually, but first he caved his whole face in by pistol whipping him. Like I said, single-handedly amongst probably, out of the 8 guns, they probably had 2 or 3 semi-automatic weapons, but still he bested them. and kills Vince, and that's the end of that. Still, you would think he would have the whole mob just there, just looming. Tommy meets up with Tariq, and he runs down all his misconceptions about James. Tariq is like, what are you talking about? He still ain't Ish. He never will be Ish, and you still got to kill him. And Tommy is like, I'm not going to kill him. I'm protect him. Tariq don't want to hear that. He don't want to hear that. This ninja ain't nothing. He's trash. He's got to go. And then basically, when he sees that Tommy is of no use to him, he basically dismisses Tommy and walks off like, I don't have time to talk to you about this silly mess. We go back to Truth, and we see where he gets the Truth, and he's there to protect James. He sees Dre. We saw that in the Dre episode, and then he dips inside when the bus passes, and that's why he disappeared. He goes inside, and he actually finds James dying on the floor. First of all, this moment where James is on this all black floor, he's got on this gray suit, which, by the way, those pants were so short. I mean, he's got to be like a 32 long or something. Like I don't know about men's inseams and stuff off top, but those pants look like little people pants. You know what I mean? It was a weird death scene. I don't know if I'm just over this show. I'm just over James. I don't know. I had no emotion for the dying scene at all. None. At the same time, he looks up, Tommy does, from James's, body. He's holding his hand, and hold on, you're going to be all right. And he sees someone, and James says, don't do it, leave her alone. Don't do it, leave her alone. So I don't know who she is. I don't know if it is the woman that was running for office, was helping him run for office, and she was falling for him. She did seem kind of Stefford when she saw Paz in the bathroom. I don't know if it was Elisa Marie. That's completely possible. Like I said, she carried herself completely different in this episode, like a lot more mature. She was very calm, and just she seemed like she was working on a plan. Okay, I don't know who it was, but we do know that it was a female, and we're assuming it's a female shooter. Maybe the female was just there. Maybe the female wasn't a shooter. I don't know. We'll find out. So James dies right there with Tommy, and I think it was meant to be emotional. It wasn't. Tommy tried to evoke a sense of emotion. It just didn't come across, in my opinion, at all. We see where Tommy immediately leaves there, and he goes home. And when he gets home, Kate has flowers there. They already know about James's death. I don't know if this is the next morning. Kate basically lets Tommy have it. I mean, James has always been her favorite. She doesn't hide it. She tells him to his face. She thinks that Tommy killed James. How could he? How could you kill your brother? And you'll never be anything without James. And Tommy is hurt, and he is destroyed. And it's all the reasons why, although he has done some seriously heinous things, that we still always kind of keep a little bit of a soft spot for Tommy in our hearts, because he had such a messed up upbringing, and still to this day suffers from this PTSD like relationship, this super toxic relationship with his mom. Just for her to stand there and not give him a moment to talk or to say anything about how he's feeling about his brother basically being dead, just to give him the chance to explain, to see his side for once, to maybe think positively about the situation as opposed to assuming that it was him. Although she knows her son, He throws the keys down and she tells him get out. She doesn't want to see him, and she says he left me some money, and she gives him an envelope. He also left this for you too. Takes the envelope. I don't know what the envelope was, but I'm assuming it was some information about the car, because he goes and gets, you know, opens up this storage, and under this tarp is his baby, his car, the car that they shot up thinking it was Jason. Jason had the car shot up thinking it was Tommy in the car, and it was someone else, and the car was basically destroyed, and he spent all this time trying to get a new car. Well, this was James's gift to him, was this car, is what I'm assuming was in the envelope. So basically he's got to go. He's gonna have the Italian mob after him eventually, I'm assuming, and this whole James situation, everything that went on with, like, he wants out, he wants the dip, and he had mentioned to his mom when she first got him from the salvage yard about, oh, his connect had hooked him up with a guy who was doing really, really well in California. I was like, the guy that seemed like a snitch, that seemed like he was 5'0", one of them alphabet boys, that's who you talking about? Okay, Tommy. All right. This is actually when he gets a call from 2-Bit about Turtle being the one that snitched, and later we see him pull up on Turtle. Turtle's just walking down the street. Like, I thought he got immunity, but he was supposed to get WITSEC. I don't know. Evidently, immunity is easier to come by than WITSEC, but he's just walking down the street with a bag of chips and a strawberry yoo-hoo. And Tommy pulls up and, you know, accuses him. He tries to explain in this half-hearted way, and then they still have this sort of semi-normal conversation where Spanky obviously felt like he had convinced Tommy that he didn't have anything to do with it. It was really 2-Bit's fault and all of this stuff, and 2-Bit, you know, sent the man to jump Keisha, and Tommy shot him right in the eye, dead on the street, gone. I was like, okay. Then he leaves and he goes to see Elisa Marie, and just tells her he's leaving, he's going on, and she gives him a copy, gives him a jump drive with a copy of the audio. He smashes it hard to the ground. She then looks inside of her necklace and gives him the SD. He puts it in his mouth and chews it up and tells her to take good care. And if she comes looking for him one day, y'all know what it means when you say come looking for him. He completely understands. And she tells him, I know that you killed my father, even though you wouldn't say it. I know now. So maybe it wasn't Elisa Marie, because Tommy didn't really let on that it was Elisa Marie if it was. So maybe it was Tasha. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Who was the female that was there that Tommy and James was looking up to when James was dying? This episode, like I said, it, you know, at least it wrapped up the whole SD card in the necklace, and the Lisa Marie and the role and the part she would play. I don't know if we're going to see her again. She seemed quite shattered to learn that Tommy came to get her and kidnap her because Tariq went and immediately told him what was going on. And it was in this moment she realized Tariq was not her friend. And she seemed to take that a lot harder than she took the fact that Tommy killed her daddy, to me. Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. I'm interested in hearing what you guys think about this episode. Not just how rushed it was, but what about that ending with Tommy basically clearing his apartment out and riding off scot-free into the sunset to do God knows what without a hair being harmed. Like, I don't think he was grazed or wounded at all in this episode. It's weird to me because he's been one of the most brutal killers outside of James on this show. Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. And until next time, honeybees, I holla.